Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity on the River's virtual Sunday service for January 17th, 2021. I am Rev Ogun, Senior Minister. Let us begin, as we always do, by a moment of centering, grounding prayer. So I invite you, wherever you are, whenever you are, connecting with us, gently close the eyes and for a moment connect with the breath. Become fully present to whatever moment you are in, accepting and embracing however you're feeling at this moment, and most importantly, loving yourself in this moment. Giving thanks for this opportunity to connect across space and time with others who have said, yes, I want to be connected to this community, to learn, to love, to serve. We're here to be lights in this world, and we do so. We shine our light even brighter by loving ourselves. And we are grateful. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. Wonderful service we've got planned today. Welcoming our music team. We got music director Meg Rain, Christine Malpica. We got the boys in the shed. So we're going to jump right in with Chris. Who's going first? Meg and Christine. Read the script.
Yes.
Read the script.
Who's on first? Who's on first? Good morning, all you beautiful Unitics. This is a fairly new song. I am made for this time, as we all are made for these times. I am made for these times. I am strong for these times. I am whole for these times. And I am here for a purpose, here to love fully, here to be awakened as the universal one. As the universal one. Come on, let's do it. I am made for these times. I am strong for these times. I am whole for these times. And I am here for a purpose, here to love fully, here to be awakened as the universal one. As the universal one. You are made for these times. You are strong for these times. You are whole in these times. And you are here for a purpose, here to love fully, here to be awakened as the universal one. As the universal one. Oh, there is no separation in time or space. In eternal presence we live, lifted in the essence of eternal grace to all of creation, to all of creation, to all of creation. Our love we give. I am made for these times. I am strong for these times. I am whole for these times. And I'm here for a purpose, here to love fully, here to be awakened as the universal one. As the universal one. We are made for these times. We are strong for these times. We are whole for these times. We are here for a purpose, here to love fully, here to be awakened as the universal one. 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 Yeah, that's the truth.
Very nice. Well, it's a radical time, so I'm I'm doing a song about radical acceptance. It's called, I've written it, I wrote it years ago actually. It's called I'm Sorry That I'm Not Sorry. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't be like you. I've done an awful lot of things in my life like other people do. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't act that way. But I'm the one that I've got to live with 24 hours a day. My parents came over to visit and they made me clean my room. Mom said, hey, what a nice kitchen, and she handed me the broom. Then she said, I'll cook up a nice dinner while your daddy cuts your hair. That's when I had hair. This is what they heard me say as I escorted them down the stairs. In a gentle way, I said, Mom, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't be like you. I've done an awful lot of things in my life like other people do. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't act that way. But I'm the one that I gotta live with 24 hours a day. I went to music school to really hone my trade. They said there's only two things wrong with you, the way you look and the way you play. They said, we'll give you this piece of paper if you can sing like Placido. They said, yes, that's it, you got it. And I said, no, I'm going to be an underemployed folk singer for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. Said, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't be like you. I've done an awful lot of things in my life like other people do. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't sing that way. But I'm the one that I gotta live with 24 hours a day. All right, everyone, join in on this one. It's time for a group sing-along. Like they say in the Zoom world now, just keep it on mute and just sing along, okay? That'd be great. Thanks. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't be like you. Done an awful lot of things in my life like other people do. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I can't act that way. But I'm the one that I gotta live with 24 hours a day. Big finish, here we go. But I'm the one that I gotta live with 24 hours a day.
Woo-hoo. Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. That's awesome. That is awesome. Do you got that recorded somewhere?
Oh, that's on a CD that's still available places called The End Construction.
Nice. I love it. I love it. That's perfect for our theme of radical acceptance. We are on week 2 of our exploration of this book by Tara Brach, Radical Acceptance: Embracing Your Life with the Heart of the Buddha. And last week we talked about finding ourselves stuck in this trance of unworthiness because, as Brian Song alluded to, there's this ongoing feeling of we're not good enough. And part of that comes by comparing ourselves to others. But this whole series we're getting into is about awakening ourselves from this trance of unworthiness. If you didn't see part 1 of the talk, that's okay. It's up on our Unity on the River YouTube channel. You can go back, check it out. But brief recap, last week we talked about this ongoing feeling of not good enough, sometimes becoming more intense when we feel disconnected from others, and which leads to us feeling like we can't belong and our lives are out of control. It makes it difficult for us to trust that we are loved and lovable. But radical acceptance begins when we accept absolutely everything about ourselves and our lives. And to be clear, this is an inner experience. And accepting doesn't mean that we're saying, oh, it's okay, we got to keep going in whatever situation we're in. No, quite the contrary. In fact, the only way we can really effectively, consciously change the outer experience is first beginning by accepting how we feel about what's going on in this moment, transforming those feelings through mindfulness and compassion, and then we can begin the true work of transforming the inner so that the outer can be transformed. Remember, we live life from the inside out. Everything that is appearing in the outer of our lives is a reflection of truly where we stand on the inside. So if you want to change what's going on out there, you got to change what's going on in here. And it begins with acceptance. So part of going through the steps of radical acceptance is in the midst of whatever's going on, in the midst of the feelings that arise, whether they're anger, sadness, a grief, rejection, whatever it is, the first step in this whole process really is learning to take a pause, learning to take a sacred pause. And sometimes we come to this the hard way, right? We've got our usual strategies that we employ to try and manage and control. You know, there's busyness, there's a lot of mental over planning, there's worrying, there's like, how do we fix this? Some of us do what we call doom scrolling, you know, on our phones. We just get on and we just scrolling. You know, we go to bed and say, like, I'm just going to scroll for 5 minutes. The next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. Some of us, we do what we call retail therapy. We go shop because when we buy a thing, it makes us feel good. I got way too many pairs of shoes that can attest to me getting stuck in that pattern. Retail therapy. That's my thing. For some of us, it's mindless snacking. Right? Just to eat in while we're watching TV and numbing out. So we usually have these strategies, and at some point we may realize that these strategies aren't working. So we finally stop and pause. We don't have to wait till the strategies fall apart. We can just start with the pause. And what the pause does, if we just stop and accept that we are in this pause, is that it takes us out of the what do I do next question. What do I do next is that reaction that we feel when we don't like what we're feeling. It's the, I don't feel good right now because of something that happened out there. So I got to do something to shift what's happening out there. The pause takes us out of that question. It's a surrender question, right? Because we're talking about how the control doesn't work. When we just take a sacred pause, it disrupts our usual habitual behaviors and our strategies, and it gives us the opportunity to really see what are the wants and the fears that are driving us. And the pause could look a lot of different ways. It could look like an instant, a moment of breath. A pause can take a few hours. A pause can last years. It can be us sitting to meditate. It can be just stepping out of our daily routine and like go and spend time in nature. It could be while we're talking with someone else, rather than formulating in our minds what we're going to say, just shut that down, just listen and be silent. Be comfortable with the silence in the conversation. It could simply be stopping whatever we're doing in the moment and become wholeheartedly present to what we're feeling. This is a practice of mindfulness. Let me pause, take a breath, check in. How am I feeling right now? In fact, do it right now. Let's just stop. Take a breath and check in. Can you identify what you're feeling right now? I got a few feelings going on. I'm doing my best to be fully present here, and there's still a little anxiety around, all the stuff happening with inauguration weekend coming up. I'm still in the midst of processing feelings from stuff that happened in the Capitol. Like I am Yeah, there's still a little of that going on. Pause. Pausing gives us also the opportunity, and this is how the pause really supports healing. It gives us the opportunity to stop running from our shadow. Because what happens is when we get in that frantic fix-it control mode, what we're trying to do is, again, escape the feelings that we don't like, the discomfort, and usually that discomfort or the desire to escape the discomfort is our shadow self saying, no. I don't want you to look at me. I don't want anything to change on the inside. So stay away. It's also about not accepting those parts of ourselves that we may not be exactly happy with. Because when we reject a part of our being, we are really confirming this unhealthy belief that we are unworthy. Okay, so whether it's the parts of ourselves we like or the shadow parts of ourselves, any rejection of any part of ourselves stems from unworthiness. So there needs to be this acceptance. And when we learn to face and feel the fear or shame that we usually avoid, that's how we begin to awaken from this trance of unworthiness. We need to pause and be, and don't run. Many of you are familiar with the story of Siddhartha Gautama, who would eventually become the Buddha. But the cliff notes of the story is that he was born a prince, and he lived a life of lavish excessiveness, and he knew no pain, he knew no sorrow, because everything was provided for him. And one day he got out of the palace and saw what the real world was like and what suffering was like. And he turned his back on his excessive luxury and went the other extreme and took on asceticism. I could say the word asceticism, which is like total deprivation. The story goes he almost starved himself to death, but then he realized that wasn't the way to find true joy and peace either. So what did he do after that? He paused. He stopped trying to find a way, looking for a way. He paused and he went and sat under the Bodhi tree. And by just pausing and sitting and making himself available to all that the universe had to reveal to him, he first faced his shadow side that turned up in the imagery of a god called Mara. In the Sanskrit, it means delusion. So he faced all the delusions and illusions about his shadow side. And he didn't fight them. He didn't resist them. He didn't turn his back on them. He just sat there lovingly, compassionately. And eventually Mara faded away and he realized his true essential nature. And that's when he was truly awakened. That's when he became the Buddha. But it started with the pause, with the sitting under the tree, with the not doing anything to fix what was going on in here. So that's the invitation. That's always been the invitation. Stop running and just pause. Stop trying to fix. Just pause. Stop worrying and just pause. Stop lashing out, projecting, blaming. Just pause. And when you pause, Mara, the delusion, is going to come visit us in the form of the difficult emotions and the fear-based worries. And our job is simply to say, I see you and I accept you with compassion. That's how we befriend the shadow. I see you and I accept you. And then we can do some inquiry. We can scan and see what's happening in our body. Ask ourselves, what really is happening in here? And what wants my attention? What's asking? What's seeking acceptance within myself? And then with genuine care and unconditional friendliness towards ourselves, we just listen and accept. But it begins with the pause. when we pause, we set up the conditions for listening and accepting both our highest self and our shadow self. And then, when we truly listen with unconditional friendliness, then we're in a place where we can say yes to the experience we are having. And again, yes is not allowing the external conditions. That's not what this is about. This is all an inside job. But when we say, yes, this is what's happening, this is where I am, then the spirit of radical acceptance becomes alive in us. And we allow the thoughts and feelings to come, arise, to pass away, just like the Buddha did with the Mara under the Bodhi tree. And we can simply say to ourselves, it's okay. Or whisper to these feelings, well, hello, I see you. With an open heart, without resistance. Thich Nhat Hanh has a practice he calls smile yoga, where he simply says, just smile a little bit during the day. Smiling is like a sense of unconditional friendliness. And you know this when you connect with people and you talk with them, even if it's a difficult conversation. How do you convey that you are present with them and you're listening open-heartedly without judgment? Just a little smile. There's a story in the book of he went to visit some students who were like rigorously practicing, and they asked him, what can we do to improve? And he said, and I swear to you, this is my life mantra: get up a little later each morning and smile a little more. So I definitely got the get up a little bit later down pat. The smiling a little bit more, still working on it. Still working on it. Got a lot of years of deprogramming and acceptance and surrender. But that's all of our journeys, right? All of our journeys is to accept, to listen, to pause. And when we can say yes to whatever experience we're having within ourselves, to accept it and not reject it, that leads towards us loving ourselves more. This weekend, we're observing, as we do every year, the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. His birthday was this past Friday. The national holiday is tomorrow on Monday. So this is kind of like MLK weekend, if you will. And one of the quotes that people love, and it's one of my favorite quotes of his, is, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. But here's the thing, folks. Where's that love coming from? Until we start fully loving ourselves, ain't no one doing any driving of anything. The love starts here. And that love comes from us radically accepting our experience, so that then we can begin to allow it to be enveloped by the endless divine love from Source. These things are all connected. We live life from the inside out. And if there's not enough love in the world, then the invitation is for each of us to ask ourselves, is there enough love in me? And as long as there's a refusal to accept in any given moment how we're feeling and where we're at, then no, the love is not there. We got to love ourselves. We got to be open to saying yes to the experience of accepting where we are and who we are in any given moment. And that begins with a pause. A pause. So we're going to pause for a moment of meditation right now. And we're going to let Meg take us in with a song. And this is one of the guided meditations from the book, Radical Acceptance, that I'll lead you through. And then we'll have some silence as well. But take this time. And during the course of whenever after you've watched this service, you need to pause. Come back and play this part. But let's do that right now. Let's take a pause. And I'll let Meg take us in.
sadness from wherever you've been. Come broken hearted, let rescue begin. Come find no mercy, all hurt that you feel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burden, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Wanderer, come home. You're not too far. Lay down your hurt, lay down your heart. Come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are. There's joy for the morning, all hope is fulfilled. For earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burden, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Wanderer, come home. You're not too far. Lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, and come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are. Just as you are.
So if you haven't yet, I invite you to gently close the eyes. Allow yourself to find a comfortable seated position or lying down. And just connect with the breath right now. Allow the breath to center you in this moment. Allow the body to be still. In this moment, at this time, we will explore the power of yes. So bring to mind a situation, a current situation that elicits a reaction of anger or fear or grief. It may be a rift with your partner, the loss of a loved one. Maybe you're having a power struggle with your child. Maybe it's a chronic illness, a hurtful behavior that you now regret, uncertainty about where we are as a country. The more fully you get in touch with the charged essence of the story, the more readily you can access the feelings in your heart and throughout your body. What is it about this situation that provokes the strongest feelings? Maybe there's a particular scene in your mind or words that were spoken. Recognize the belief you hold about how this situation reflects on you or what it means for your future. Be especially aware of feelings in your stomach, in your chest, and your throat. In order to see firsthand what happens when you resist experience, let's experiment with saying no. Connect with the pain you feel in the situation you have chosen, and mentally and energetically direct a stream of no at the feelings. No to the unpleasantness of fear, of anger, of shame, or grief. Let the word carry the energy of no. Try to reject, to push away what you are experiencing. And as you do this, notice what this resistance feels like in your body. Do you feel tightness? Pressure? What happens to the painful feelings as you say no? What happens to your heart? Imagine what your life would be like if for the next hours, weeks, and months you continue to move through the world with the thoughts and feelings of no. Let's take a few deep breaths. Again, letting go by relaxing the body. Perhaps resetting the body a little bit, shifting your posture to become comfortable again. Connect with the breath again. And now call that painful situation to mind again. That same situation, the same images, the words, the beliefs, and the feelings connected with it. Take a moment to connect with them again. But this time, let yourself be the Buddha under the Bodhi tree, inviting Mara to tea. Direct a stream of the word yes at your experience. Agree to the experience with yes. Let the feelings float, held in the consciousness of yes. And even if there are waves of no still coming up, whether it's fear or anger that arise from the painful situation, or in this moment as we're doing this, that's okay. Let these feelings be received in the larger picture of yes. Yes to the pain. Yes to the parts of us that want the pain to go away. Yes to whatever thoughts or feelings arise. Yes. Notice your experience as you say yes. Is there an opening, a softening, or any movement in your body? Is there more space and openness in your mind? Just notice what happens to the unpleasantness as you say yes. Does it get more intense? Does it diffuse? What happens to your heart as you say yes? Can you imagine what your experience would be in the hours, weeks, and months to come if you could bring the spirit of yes to the inevitable challenges and sorrows of life? So let us continue to sit for a few moments in the silence, resting in that consciousness of yes. Let your intention be to say a gentle yes to whatever sensations, emotions, sounds, or images that may arise in your awareness. Let us sit in the silence, in the yes. I say yes to all that arises within me with unconditional friendliness and acceptance. I invite Mara to tea, and we sit. And in so doing, I become awake and aware to the fullness of who I am. My invitation to you this week is to walk, to be in the consciousness of yes, to wherever and whatever we are feeling. And in so doing, we release all resistance to the transformation. And embrace all that we are with the light and fullness of the Buddha. Let us anchor this with a sound we know well. I release and I let go.
There was a time in my life thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free and in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. There was a time in my life thought I had to do it all by myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you're discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you got to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free and in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. Ooh.
Yes, thank you, Brian Keith, for that reminder that when we accept, we can release the resistance, the struggle, the conflict within ourselves, and then we are here not just for God, to be God in the world. A few announcements before we conclude today's service. Just a reminder that if you want to take a deeper dive into this book, into conversation and dialogue around this book, and even some deeper guided meditations, please join us Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. All the information is at unityontheriver.org/classes. We had our first group this past Wednesday. It was powerful. A bunch of folks showed up. There was this honesty and vulnerable sharing. People are making breakthroughs. It was amazing. There was a guy who came on, first time I've ever met him, and he shared a story about his upbringing that struck a healing chord within me because it was so similar to my upbringing, and it allowed me to have a healing moment. So we are all there working with each other to be in this place of acceptance. So please join us. It's powerful work we're doing. Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Also coming up soon, starting on January 26th, Reverend Kelly Isla and I will be leading a book discussion around Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent by Isabel Wilkerson. We're still on this journey of learning about our nation, about ourselves, and how we dismantle the systemic racism that has been on the undercurrent for centuries. If we are here to create a world that works for all, we've got to understand how the current world works. And this book is very illuminating. Again, all the information, unityontheriver.org/classes. And you go to that page, you'll also see information about a workshop that I'm doing with Cindy Swall. Those of you in the Unity on the River community, you know Cindy Swall very well. It is a workshop around finding and maintaining the love of your life. It's a relationship workshop. And Cindy and I are not claiming to be experts about this, but we've learned a few things over the years, and we're in relationships currently that we think are the highlights of our experience. So we want to share what we've learned and invite you into this with us. It's a 3-part workshop. It starts January the 28th. Again, unityontheriver.org/classes. You'll find information about that. Please register today. If you missed Thursday morning's congregation dialogue, with Martha Creek, they're ongoing. The next one is this evening, Sunday the 17th at 6 p.m. Okay, it's on Zoom. And again, the premise is Martha Creek, renowned church consultant, is leading us through these dialogues so that we can, as this whole talk has been about, accepting where we are and who we've been as a community, and so that we can make peace with any, conflicts, resentments, anything that we may hold within ourselves around the journey that this community has been on over the decades. So it's about connecting, conversing, cleansing, so that we can move forward. So again, if you go to our website, unityontheriver.org, there's a link right there on the main page, so you can see all the dates and the Zoom links. Check your newsletter as well. We have some positions again opening. I'll shared one last week, treasurer. We need a new treasurer to jump into our board. With the departure of our operations director, Stan stepped into that role, and he was the previous treasurer of the board and can't be a staff person and a board member at the same time. So like the minister is always the only person who's like the exception in there, but we need a treasurer to now serve on our board to help oversee and be that second set of eyes on our financial picture. So if you have some financial expertise and you want to help us out with that, please contact me or someone on the board. And also we need a new communications director. Many of you remember Cindy, who worked in the office and then she moved to Arizona. She's been maintaining like our website or social media and stuff like that remotely for a couple years. And she is again stepping into what's hers to do. This isn't coming by any surprise. We knew for a while that in 2021 she'd be stepping away. So if you or anyone you know has some expertise in working the back end of a website, social media, running a newsletter, stuff like that, and there will be some training provided, of course, let us know. If you're watching this Sunday morning, please connect with us over Zoom Hospitality at 11 a.m. All the details are on our website. A time to connect in real time with members of our community. There'll be prayer chaplains available to go into breakout rooms if you want to have one-on-one prayer with a prayer chaplain, or one-on-one connection time with a board member. That's an option as well. all of this information that I just shared with you. It's on our website. It's in our newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter on the website if you're not receiving our weekly emails that come out on Friday. And please, please, please sign up for text alerts. Text if you haven't done this yet, text UOTR to 313131 to set up text alerts, and we will send you text to remind you about when everything's happening. Because you hear this stuff on Sunday, and by the week rolls around, you might forget. So, and always thank you for continuing to invest in this spiritual community so that we can continue to bring you all that we bring you. Visit unityontheriver.org/donate to make a donation. You can mail a check to the office, 14 Cedar Street, Suite 203 in Amesbury, or you can do quick, easy, fast texting to donate from your phone. If you have not set this up yet, text GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 833-702-4337. It's a one-time setup. Takes about 5 minutes to set that up, and then afterwards, you just got to text whatever amount you want to donate to that number, and it's that easy. It's that quick. We are so grateful for your generosity, for your abundance consciousness that has allowed us to sustain this community, especially during these times where it's not like any of us expected. So, that being said, again, hope to see some of you in hospitality. Let's end today, as we always do, with "Let there be peace on earth." So let's energetically join hands with each other, heart to heart, across space and time. Whenever you are, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You're singing it, we're feeling it. Take it away, boys in the shed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And our prayer for protection: the light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the
the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
All is well.
And we are
Richly blessed.
Namaste. Continue to accept this week. Stay in the energy of yes. And if you're watching Sunday morning, hope to see you at hospitality.
Namaste, everybody. Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Happy Sunday.